How to get honeycomb in Minecraft. So bees can produce honey in bottles or honeycomb. And honeycomb can be used to be able to craft or stop copper from oxidizing, as well as to be able to lock signs, make beehives to get more bees, make candles, or used with things like copper bulbs. So how do you get honeycomb? Well, to begin with, you need to find yourself a bee's nest. Now, these all spawn near trees. If you plant trees and you have flowers around them within a couple of blocks of the trees, it will have a chance to be able to spawn with a beehive. So as you can see, this is a little area I've made, and I've planted some saplings and then planted a flower next to each of the saplings as well. And after a while, you will get a beehive. As you can see, this is a beehive right here. And you can mine this with a silk touch pickaxe to be able to pick it up. So I'm going to mine this right here, and now you can see I have it in my inventory. Then what you can do is simply go and move it to somewhere where you want it to be. Now, of course, there are advantages to having bees in certain locations. For example, they will help you grow crops quicker if you have them near your farm. But in this case, I'm just going to place this right here. Now, as you can see, the bee's nest has yellow particles here, or yellow parts of the texture. And this is because there is honey in the beehive or the bee nest to be able to harvest. So I'm going to go down here. You need to place a campfire underneath your bee's nest or your beehive. Now, the bee's nests are the ones that you'll find naturally spawning or spawning near trees, and the beehives are the ones that you can craft, which I'll show you how to craft in a second, so that you can get more of them rather than having to wait for them to grow all the time. So you will need a campfire. Now, I do already have one, but in case you don't know how to craft it, this is the crafting recipe here. So it's some sticks, it's a piece of coal, and then it is 3 logs of any kind as well. I'm just going to craft a few extra of these whilst I'm here. And then you can go back to where your beehive or your bee nest is, depending on which you are using, and you can place the campfire underneath. Now, this will mean that the bees won't sting you when you try and harvest the honeycomb or when you try and harvest the honey, depending on what you want. I would also recommend that you block up the campfire so that the bees don't sting themselves, so they don't damage themselves on the campfire. And then, as you guys can see, this is now covered and there is now smoke going through the bee's nest. So once you've made your bee's nest safe, you can go up to it with shears, click on it, and it will give you honeycomb. Or if you want to get bottled honey, which can be used to make honey blocks, sugar, or to be able to stop you being poisoned and cure you from the poison effect, then you can go up to a beehive or bee nest and you can click on it with a bottle and you'll get a bottle of honey. So as you can now see, these no longer have the yellow particles. So the particles are no longer very yellow, it's no longer full. But if we go to a different one of these over here, then it is still full because the honey has not been harvested. And then, as you can also see, the same goes for the beehives as well. There's a little line on these, the ones that need to be harvested, and the one that has been harvested will not have a yellow line on these. It will be empty. So you can craft the beehives really simply. I'll show you the crafting recipe. It's just simply some planks, and it is also some honeycomb. So as you can see, this is the crafting recipe right here. I can make this, I can place this down and repeat the process. Now make sure that you don't have flowers directly in front of the beehive or bee nests, as otherwise the bees will not be able to come in and out. And also what you can do is you can breed the bees using flowers. So if you get flowers, you can breed these, and then you can make baby bees, and these will go into the empty beehive. So it's really worth you doing and breeding these as much as possible. Another mob that flies is the LA. To learn how to get and use it, check out the video on screen.